Hi YouTube, I'm Bowser and welcome to my review. Today I have for you the AGA-T7 from UD AGA-T7. It is a rebuildable tank atomizer, dual coil, adjustable airflow, what else? 22 millimeter in diameter, 65 millimeters in height, holds roughly 3.5 milliliters of juice, and it is a beast. I'm going to take a little vape on it. I'll show you right now. This thing is a vapor producing beast. Also, it is a juice whore. 3.5 milliliters of juice will go very, very fast. I borrowed this particular one from a buddy of mine. I'm not sure exactly where he got it. He gets a lot of stuff from group buys. It might have been from there. But I did look for it online, and a lot of places carry UD equipment. I found it on eCiggity, Triangle Vapes, Got Smoke, quite a few different places. Most of the prices range right around between $35 and $25, usually right around the $30 mark. It is definitely, in my opinion, worth it. It is finicky as hell to build. Your first couple times you build it, it has a chance to dump the entire tank of juice in a hurry. These little airflow down here, you'd be surprised how much juice can actually come out of those and how fast it can come out. But once you get the hang of building it, and the way your cotton needs to lay in there, or your silica, or whatever wicking medium you decide to use, this thing is great. I've had it for a couple days now, and I've been using it nonstop. I bet I've gone through probably 15 milliliters of juice in the last 2 days. It's got the nice little Pyrex tank end section up here. You can see where your juice is and how fast you're actually vaping it. It's kind of nice. It's got the dual coil part of it, gives you that RDA feel, but you don't have to fill it, or you don't have to drip. I mean, wonderful open airflow. Has a ring around the bottom here that you can adjust whether you want that big open airy draw where you just breathe in through the dang atomizer, or you can even tune it down to where you're taking more of a mouth draw. There we go. Either way you do it, it performs very well. Excuse me. I am definitely a big fan of it. I see there's a lot of the places I was looking on websites, they're calling it a K-Fun killer, which really, yeah, it's the same as a K-Fun in the fact that it's rebuildable and it's got a tank. But in my opinion, that's about where the similarities kind of stop. I mean, it does have a chimney through the center, but the build deck is completely different. Like, you want to compare a K-Fun to a fogger, I can see that. The build decks are really similar. The style is similar. But to me, this doesn't really resemble a K-Fun. And as far as a K-Fun killer goes, with the adjustable airflow and the fact that you can, dual coil it, I wouldn't really put it in the same category as a K-Fun, other than the fact that it's a rebuildable tank. It's a really good vape. I love it. I've had it in my hand nonstop since my buddy borrowed it to me, and I don't know if I'm ever going to give it back. Oh, it's great. It's quite lovely. It's got a bit of shiny on the outside, and it really looks nice when you put it on a 22 millimeter mod. This one happens to be the Hydra from Larnia. I have it on my M16 in the up closey bit, and I've put it on my pipe, and it doesn't matter what I put it on. Everything just it vapes really well. As far as pros and cons go, I'd say the fact that it chucks as much vapor as it does is definitely a pro. The looks of it, to me, it looks nice. I mean, that's to what, you know, what is to you, what looks nice is different to me, I guess. But I think it looks sharp. It performs really well. The adjustable airflow is good. I mean, it lets you go as open as it gets. It gets as open as I would want a draw. And then it closes down to where you have like a regular mouth draw, like I said before. As far as cons go, excuse me, it is a bit tricky to build. The first couple times you build it, you're probably going to end up with handfuls of juice. It's probably going to leak on you. It's probably going to gurgle. But once you get the hang of building it, it is great. It's not hard to build once you figure it out. Todd from Todd's E-Cig Reviews has a good build video on it. I'm not going to do one, not a build per se today, just because the coils that I have in here, I don't want to mess with them because they're working really good right now. But I do go through and re-wick it, and you'll see I even had a problem. I've rebuilt this thing half a dozen times already, and I even had a problem with the way my cotton was wicked through there. It just poured all of the juice out all over my desk, all over my hands. And like I said, I've rebuilt it half a dozen times already or more. Another con I would have to say is that right up here on the top, is this little teeny tiny little set screw. I mean, it's tiny, and you'll see it in the up close portion, but it's tiny. And I'll have to talk to my buddy and find out. I'm sure they sent an extra one when he got it, but I can see that getting lost pretty easily. Not only that, you have to use a little Allen wrench because it's an Allen head in the top of there. So either you don't keep track of this, maybe you lose it. Well, then you're out of luck, or you have to go buy a new one. Either way, I like the filling being on the top, so you don't have to take it off of your mod to fill it. But at the same time, I think they could have done a little better job with what they used to seal that off with. Pretty minor complaints, I'd say, in my opinion, compared to what kind of vape I get out of it. It's great. So what we'll do is we'll get up close and personal with it, and I'll show you all the bits and pieces and how to put it together. All right, here's the AGA-T7 broken down into as many pieces as I can break it down into. Start here. You've got there's your 510 pin. You've got this little cap here, which is your airflow control. And this ring does pop off of here. There you can see, big hole, same on the ring. Then you've got your build deck. If it decides to focus. Focus. I don't know why this doesn't like to focus. So I'm going to make you focus. Alright, you got your build deck here. You have 4 posts for your dual coil. Excuse me. You've got your 2 low posts for your bottom coil and your 2 top posts for your top coil. Flip it over, you got your positive deck here with your 2 positive pins on the bottom, your hole for your airflow, and if you look, you can see that the 4 little grooves here along the sides, the outside, those are where your juice gets down to your wick from. You've got your chimney, It's threaded on the top to receive your top cap. You've got a bottom deck section with the AGA-T7 logo on it from Ude. O-ring for your Pyrex tank. Threads. And this does actually hold juice. When the chimney's in there, there's quite a bit of room left over. You won't be able to see the juice that's in there, but it does hold juice. I mean, you can see. I don't know how you want to see that. Anyways, there's those two. This is a Pyrex tank that my buddy ordered this extra. I believe he got this from Kidney Puncher. It comes with a regular plastic tank. And there's nothing wrong with the plastic tank. It works just fine. But the Pyrex, a little nicer. And then you have the top cap. And there are the, try to keep this in focus here. There are the threads with an O-ring there that go onto the top of the chimney. There's the O-ring for the top of the Pyrex tank. And there's your fill hole right there. So that's how that all works. Regular 510 connection, accepts all drip tips and whatnot and what have you. So we'll put this together a little bit here. You got your airflow ring and your deck. And they just screw together like this. Your 510 goes right in here, like so. Just tighten that in there. Now this we have found, this thing can be kind of a finicky thing to build. We found if that is loose, you have a tendency to leak more for whatever reason. So I put it together. I just kind of give it a little bit of a snug. All right, there you go. Now I'm actually going to move all this other stuff aside, and I'm going to wick this for you, because here is a trick on the wicking that will help you a lot. Got a little build deck I put it onto. I'll make sure we're in good focus here. Focus. There we go. Focus, kind of, mostly. Yeah, I think that's about the best. Alrighty. And I've lost one of my... Oh, there it is. Alright, got that. Okay. Got my cotton here. I know a lot of guys use silica when they wick this. I am just a big fan of cotton, so that is what I use. Now I roll this up fairly snug to start with, so that I can get everything started. Get this all slid in here like that, like there. Alright, plenty of free movement. I'll snip off the extra here, snip, and I will snip off the extra there. Looks good. Out of here, you. All right. Now here is a nice little trick for you. Watched one of Todd's reviews. Hi guys, Todd here, and saw him do this. And since I've started doing it this way, I have not had an issue with a leak whatsoever. Alright, you can kind of see right there is the little channel that your juice drips down into. Now what I do is I just push the cotton so that it's at the bottom of that channel. And I'll try to show you on camera. Do this side. Push that down on that side. And then I kind of just lay it over like that. Alright, now I just make sure that there is cotton at the bottom of that channel right there. Just like that. And your biggest thing on this thing is you do not want to cover that hole right in there. That's your airflow. If you have cotton over top of that, one, it's going to leak, and two, it will muffle your draw, and it just will not perform worth a darn. So I'll go ahead and I'll put this one through here, up here on the top. Well, maybe. Let's start from this side. Hey. I'll put that through there. Big fingers. Alright, thread our cotton through. We got a nice bit of wiggle there. And this one I trim off a little bit longer because it is in a higher position. So same deal. Start over on the side. I lay this over like so. And just enough to make sure, just kind of make sure it fills in that little cotton hole, or that little channel there. You don't want to pack it tight, otherwise you have run into issues with wicking. But you just want to make sure that it's at the bottom of that little hole there. And we do the same on this side. Just kind of lay your cotton in there just like that. And then you can kind of see the gaps, you know, like right up here, a little more so right there. This is tricky doing this in the camera, looking at everything backwards. Basically, dual coil, the airflow comes up through the coil, or through the bottom, right underneath the center of the coils here, and it passes over your first coil and then over your second coil. Not that hard to do, and I've even been able to keep this to wick very well with cotton. Haven't had to use silica, and it wicks fantastically. I don't get any burnt hits, and it works pretty good. So now what I like to do is, give me just a second here. I will tell you, you will need a syringe to fill this with, due to the fact that the hole for filling is relatively small. So I use my syringe. And as you'll be able to see, I've got 5 milliliters in my syringe. It won't hold all 5 milliliters. I'd say it holds somewhere between 3.5 and 4 milliliters. But really, with the way this thing vapes, to not have to fill it throughout your day, it would have to hold about 20 milliliters, I swear to God. Because this thing is a juice whore. It will suck juice like nobody's business. Alright, I got it all pre-wet there. And a little dab on the bottom coil. There we go, just like that. Alright. Oh, jeez. Now I'll pull this off of here. Throw it on my trusty old M16 that I've kind of gotten back into the favor of using. Yes. My little, kind of my work mod. I just use it for mostly when I go to work, but tighten that down. Give it a little fire. Oh, my battery's getting low on here. I know that doesn't look very impressive, not like you would consider like a big old dual coil on an RDA or something, but this is a tank system. So now I'll screw the chimney on. And what I did find with the chimney is when all that is in there, the chimney threads in right on top of it, and sometimes the chimney can get really tight to screw down. This one's not too bad, but it's a little snug. And I doubt you'll be able to see them, but right there, I'll try to focus. I kind of want you guys to see this. If you even can. Not really. Oh, there you can kind of see it. Right there. You see that little tiny knock right there? Little niche? That's where your juice goes through. Right there's another one right up there on top. Excuse me. Pardon me. Excuse me. Good Lord. And anyways, well, that's where your juice goes through. So then we screw on this little cap here. This is the bottom deck piece that I showed you a minute ago. And that threads on right like so. Kind of. And as awkward as I'm being with these threads, that I will say the threads are really smooth on everything. They are Crisco smooth. Nice finish. Alright. Pyrex tank section. Sits right on there like that. Top cap. Threads on like so. And then there's your juice fill hole. And what I will do is I will go ahead and fill mine. I have roughly 4 milliliters left in here. And sorry about the glare. And like I said, this down in here, this bottom tank section is going to hold juice as well. Try to get that where the glare isn't so bad. There we go. Look at that. Dun, 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 dun. I usually go just until I get a little bit of a mess out the top here. Oh, I guess that's it. That's holding at least 4 milliliters of juice right there. So there's that juice hole right there. Oh, look, you can see right in there. Cool. Okay, now what I did there was actually a good thing to have happened because I can tell you about it now. When I laid the cotton through the top wick and I brought it down into the bottom chamber, I had too small of a piece of cotton, so it left gaps in there, and the juice just went right past the cotton and down into the air hole. And what I had was I had juice just pouring out of these little holes down here through the air vents. So what I did was I pulled it all back apart. I put a thicker piece of cotton through that top wick, and now we are magnificent. There we go. No gurgling. We got vapor. No leaking. And we'll go back out to the other video. Okay, well, that was the up and close and personal, and what I didn't show on there was that it did start leaking after I filled it there, and it just continued to leak and leaked the whole tank of juice out. And like I said, what I did was I put too small of a wick in the top coil. Didn't have enough to really absorb it. I left a gap, and that gap allowed juice just to flow through freely. Definitely have to say it is a con. I mean, if you've got a juice, you've only got 4 mils left of it or whatever, and you happen to dump it out, you're gonna get kind of mad, I would imagine. But what I did, I put the thicker cotton in the top, I put it all back together, refilled it, and no leaking. No leaking, and great. Oh, hear that popping and crackling. Great vape off it. Like I said, I love this thing. I'll post some links to maybe 1 or 2 of the sites that I found it at for sale. I haven't tried enough of the other UD, the UDs. There's the AGA-T7, the T4, the T5. I haven't tried any of those, but from what I've heard, they could have done a better job on it. This one, however, is my first AGA tank that I've tried, and I love it. I really do. Like I said, it can be a bit finicky, but overall, I definitely give it a positive rating. and I would definitely suggest picking one up, especially considering you can pick up one for around 30 bucks. And for all you authentic clone battle people, I guess it's an authentic, you know, $30 authentic, and it freaking, it chucks the vapor. But I don't know. Anyways, the way I see it, goodbye. If you want to go out and pick one up, you can do so. And I'm going to let you go and just continue vaping.